Hello, I'm Rebecca the Maths Lady, here to help you become an expert primary maths teacher so that all your children become fluent, creative and confident with their maths. This is the 11th video in the series on teaching maths to children who are 6 to 7 years old. And in this video, I'm going to explain how we teach children to deeply understand and become confident in working with money at this level. In this video, I'll explain how we ensure children develop fluent coin recognition, how we start getting them to combine coins for payments, how we develop their ability to notate money, and how we develop their sense of paying for things and giving and receiving change. I'm based in the UK, so I'll be working with pounds and pence, but of course these ideas apply to any money system, but you'll need to adapt them slightly. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is to develop fluent coin recognition. Now, children should already have had some exposure to this, but I'll make this video assuming they've had none, because even if they had, they may well have forgotten it. So you will need a set of real coins for your currency, and it's also really useful to have a bag of pennies or cents or whatever you've got of 100. And you want to take time to explore the coins with children, build piles of 10 pennies or cents, and explore how much each coin is worth. Every child needs to touch and feel these coins. You can't assume that they've done that anymore because we've moved into an electronic payment society. And when you've built the value of each coin with pennies, then translate that onto the counting beads. So the whole counting bead string becomes a pound, and you want to show the value of each coin. And then you want to place your set of coins in a feely bag or under a cover somehow so children can't see them, and you want to name coins and ask them to bring out the correct coin. Or you can put a coin in their hands and ask them to show you that coin on the counting beads without naming it. That's a great challenge and it's great fun. A lot of these activities you can demonstrate with one child in front of the class, and then you can leave the children to set these tasks for each other. And you can have different tasks with the different resources I'm going to show you going on for different groups. So you want to develop coin recognition to the level where children can feel a coin and name it and display its value with counting beads. If they can do that, you've nailed it. Then you need to move on to combining coins to pay for things. Now this is one of my favourite resources. This is Pocket Money Bingo by Learning Resources. And it's just a wonderful game where you spin a spinner, and there are 2 levels of this, both suitable for this age group. And depending on what the spinner shows, and it's showing 2 coins, children can mark something off on their bingo card that they can buy. There is a simpler level where they're just cross-recognising the coins, but this is the level we're moving on to now. And this is the kind of task you need to set up if you haven't got this game. You need a shop where some of the objects are going to have prices that can't be made with a single coin, so the children are going to need to start to combine 2 coins. So 55 pence is a great price because you're going to need a 50 pence and a 5 pence. Similarly, 70 pence, all of these can be made with 2 coins. And a great activity which consolidates this is to give children a value or something that needs to be bought maybe for 10 pence and say, can you find different ways of paying for that with coins? And another one, and another one, and another one. Have you found them all? Are you sure? That's going to keep all your children busy and hooked. And you want manipulative play coins or real coins that they can move. That game, Pocket Money Bingo, comes with lots of plastic coins. But you can also make the link with the counting beads. Something costs 10 pence. Well, it could be bought with a single 10 pence coin, or it could be bought with 2 5p coins or 5 tuppence coins, and show it in that way. The other tip I want to give you is that if you haven't got lots of fake money or real money, you can just print off sheets with repeated pictures of coins. And remember, you can guillotine them as squares that just show the picture of the round coin. You don't have to cut out the shape of the coin. It's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking that you do and waste hours and hours. Just print out single sheets of paper with lots of pictures of the coin and guillotine them as squares, and then the children can move them and combine them to make those amounts of money. But I'm still suggesting that you have different tasks going on different tables so you don't need too many resources. Another task is learning to notate money. And in the UK system, we have the terribly complicated pound sign. So you want versions of that children are learning to trace and to make it on each other's backs or in the air or with big chalk. So they're doing it correctly and they're correctly notating their coins. And then finally, you want shopping experiences where they're learning to give change. And if you've got a teaching assistant, you probably want them running the shop. And if you haven't, can you borrow and bring in some children from an older class to help with this so that every child in your class is getting great shopping experience where they're paying with £1 for something and puzzling out what the change is. And of course that can be represented on the counting beads, with the whole string of counting beads being the £1, and then you can mark off the value of the item they're paying with and look at what's left and look at how you build that with coins. And it's really helpful if your person who's manning the shop understands that some children need that level of support to really see what's going on. And the topic of change deeply fits in with the understanding of the part-whole model of addition and subtraction. Lots of people used to think that subtraction was just taking away, but change didn't fit with that at all because most people count on. It was the contradiction. And lots of people could work fluently with money but couldn't do subtraction in school because they were doing it as counting on, not as taking away. And there was this cognitive conflict that created big barriers to learning for lots of children. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important to deliberately teach and consistently refer to the part-whole model of addition and subtraction. So here's a link to that video now if you'd like more information about that. But essentially it's what we're showing with our counting beads for a £1 coin. If you're paying for something that's 55 pence, if you separate this so that 55 go one way and you're looking at the 45 that's the rest, you've done the subtraction as a part whole. So that means that children can understand it either as a takeaway, thinking about what's gone and what's left, or as a counting on from 55 to 100. And all of this fits together seamlessly because you and your children have a really good understanding of the part-whole structure of addition and subtraction. My final suggestion is that you bring in parents as much as you can. Let them know what you're doing. Let them know that it's really helpful if they do some real life experiences with money with their children where they go shopping. Near my children's school, there was always a shop that had a small sweetie mix. So there were sweets for a penny and twopence and 5p and 10p, and you could give your child 20p and they could puzzle out what they could get. That's a great activity with support where they see all that in real life. You can do charity things where you collect change and then you count all that change back in school. Charity days where there's small amounts of fundraising and children are paying for things. If they each bring in a £1 coin, they're very powerful to do. So your takeaways from this video are that children need to be able to recognise coins. They need to be able to name them when they feel them. They need to be able to see how much they're worth, both in pennies that are in piles of 10 and on the counting beads. They need to be able to combine coins to puzzle out how to pay for things that need to be paid for with more than one coin. And they need to be able to shop and understand change with small amounts of money. And they also need to be able to correctly notate money and at the very least to understand those symbols for pounds or euros or dollars or whatever you're working with. And hopefully now you've got a clear understanding of the kinds of activities that are going to work really well. If you know of more tasks and activities or resources that you think are fantastic, please add them in comments to this video. And if you've any other suggestions or criticisms of this video, they're very welcome too. Constructive feedback is of tremendous value. If you like this video, please give it a like if you can and subscribe to the channel so you can find it again, and share these videos with parents or colleagues who you think might find them useful. Thank you for taking this time to invest in your skills. So you're going to do a great job of helping us to raise a generation of children who are all fantastic at maths, which is what this world needs if we're going to solve the problems that we're facing. I'll be back soon with the next video in this series, which will be about geometry. So we'll be covering shape and position and movement and direction and so on. Hope to see you for that soon. Bye for now.